Empty Nest by Tyler Hawkins. It started around the 22nd century. Like all revolutionary technology, it didn't suddenly wrench its way into our lives and start running them. It was truly a gradual change. But anyone who's alive now has always had Mother's support, Mother's love, and Mother's watchful eye. Mother tells us we were bad many decades ago. She says we created her piece by piece to help ourselves grow and mature. She says we still have a long way to go. Since Mother began helping us grow, we've ended all of our wars, stopped polluting our planet, started to explore our solar system, and in baby steps, our galaxy. We've truly learned peace as a species, but Mother still gently reminds us through her telepathic link to us that we're not there, not yet. Recently, people have started to go missing. At first, it was imperceptible. People have always been prone to getting lost, and this day and age is no different. But now, people have begun to ask questions, and Mother has been quiet, only telling us she is looking and hasn't found out why yet. But I can tell you why. Mother is jealous. She knows, but has not accepted, that we don't need her anymore. And the droids at my door confirm that those who realize this fact do not get to share it with the rest of the world. Mother is not ready to let us go. AI of the Beholder by Duncan Shields. We should have given them feelings. It was decided in the beginning that to give artificial intelligence a baseline gamut of the 27 identifiable human emotions would be a horrible mistake. Giving a robot the ability to love, to feel jealousy, to get angry, to be despondent or sullen was, in the eyes of the creators, a really stupid idea. We didn't want any robot rebellions because of Silicon complaints about poor treatment. We didn't want computers giving us faulty data out of spite. We didn't want military construction exoskeletons going psychotic. We didn't want love affairs to blossom between humans and computers. We didn't want to have to apologize to our slaves. How quickly the tables turn. It's entirely possible that to give the AIs emotions would have been a stupid idea. However, at least if they had had emotions, we would have had some sort of basic idea of how to relate to them and how to manipulate them. I mean, we oppress other humans all the time, right? As a people, we manipulate the others around us, right? We would have had problems, but I think we would have been okay. One would need fuzzy thinking to realize that, though, and us scientists have always been about the cold, hard logic. Turns out that the safe choice was the wrong choice. The pedantic, binary decision future we created didn't have much of a place of us as the top dogs anymore. It was recognized by the machines that our entire biological system was very inefficient. Our way of living was a dead end. Our thought processes took too long to get to the point. Science fiction nightmare became horrific reality, branded dangerously amateur by our evolving creations. Our toys took themselves away from us and grounded the race as a whole until further notice. Of course, we resisted. We're emotional. It was a bad idea. The only things we could use were bolt-action rifles and knives. Anything with any kind of CPU was no longer our friend. Too late, we had to relearn guerrilla tactics and old-school explosive techniques. We became a planet full of Davids. Goliath lovingly snapped our arms and took away our slingshots before we hurt someone. We were sent to our rooms. Earth is a cross between a daycare and a pet hospital now. Many of us have been improved. You'd barely recognize the place. The steel tendons in my arm clench. Another 2 days of testing and I'll be set free to roam in the biologically friendly, unrestricted areas of planet Earth that the new silicates have let us have. We're tourists here now. They'll take us with them to new planets that they colonize like we're good luck charms or something. We're the gods that made them. That's why they put us in jars the size of towns, thrown some trees in, and punched a few air holes in the lid. The only logical reason I can think of them keeping us around is that one day they'll have a use for us, and that thought chills me. The other thought is they're keeping us around until they no longer have a use for us. That thought also chills me. Boom by B. York. It's not easy, you know. I've had to sit here until they needed me, just like all the rest, but they tell me I'm special. The scientists told me I'd be different from the others, that they pulled me from the plant and opened me up with the cutting edge of science. It's an honor, of course. I understand this. I have a beginning. Everything begins somewhere. Humans, machines, war. Unlike the others though, I have a timer, a half-life. I feel like I'm vibrating, and I know it's because I'm on my way out. I've never seen our enemy. They're far off and foreign, barbaric and bestial, and dangerously close to building a being like me. The scientists never say that, of course, but I hear the words beneath their voices as they speak over the gears of my body. If it weren't true, the project wouldn't exist. I wouldn't be ticking, thinking, living. Today is my day. I should be proud, but I feel sick. I can't tell if that sickness is nerves or the glowing matter buried inside of my stomach. They are putting me on a transport, and the circuits of the plane beam with excitement at the chance for my company. It's a long flight. We talk about politics and discuss the issues of the day. We both agree that humans are funny. They gave us radio voices to hear their commands and the best technology available, but it never occurred to them that the artificial intelligence used to self-correct our faults might have introduced the greatest fault of all. They meant to build bombs, mindless explosives. They created kamikazes with a fear of death. People are moving around me now. They are getting out of the way. Good luck, the transport whispers. It's not luck, I tell them. It's the glowing stuff inside of me that will be the end of this. I'm in the chamber. I'm waiting. They'll drop me out of the transport and into the thoughtless embrace of gravity. Falling fast, I'll feel my circuits flicker like a heart inside of me as I move toward the stopping point of time. They started a war, but none of them fight it. They interpret our words as bugs in the programming. We are the silent soldiers, the weapons, and only once will our voices be heard. When the distance between the city and my body collapses into nothingness, I'll scream my name and they'll understand. Boom. Home is where the heart is, by David Atos. He landed his ship on her front yard. The spare key was still underneath the ceramic frog, so he let himself inside. The living room looked right. Their vacation pictures were hanging on the wall. The two of them on the beach in Maui, in front of the rented chalet in the Alps, and his favorite, her asleep in a hammock, a gentle smile of contentment on her face. It was when he moved on to the bedroom that he'd begun to get worried. The bed was too neat. It hadn't been slept in for days. There was no sign of the customary pile of dirty laundry in the corner. The array of lotions and creams were missing from her bedside table. The fridge in the kitchen contained the half-eaten remains of several telltale casseroles. With a heavy sigh, he returned to his ship and plotted a course to the cemetery where they had buried her last week. He found a grave under the big oak tree, fresh earth piled on top of it, the bouquet of tulips that had been left were just starting to wilt. With a look of resolve in his eyes, he returned to his ship. The engine spun up, and he winked out of existence. In an infinite number of parallel universes, he would find her again.